morning, hello and welcome to the Hoof GP. Today we have a bit of a different one. We are going to teach some people some things. Guys, this is the Hoof GP and this one is worth watching. I know everyone's going to comment, why don't you have a travel mug? There's a very good reason. I don't like hot coffee. Well, I don't like roasting hot coffee anyway. Today is similar to pretty much most days. Craig doesn't drive, so we have to drive the 6 or 7 miles to go and pick him up. And I'm late as usual. Town. This is where Craig lives and it's where our new property is just outside, so I won't have a 6 or 7 mile to pick him up every morning. Also, my mother, Mrs. HGP's mother, and my sister live here, and so really everything we need is going to be in one place and we're going to be super close. Anyway, let's pick up Craig.
What time do you call this?
Who needs a wife when you have Craig?
Hey, I'm better than your wife. Don't put that on there because Ashley will kill me.
Anyway, leaving that there. It's onwards to our first and only place, and today we've got some cows to trim, but there's a difference. We're going to be teaching the guys on the team that work on this farm all about infectious cattle diseases of the foot. So the farm we're visiting today, we actually go to every 2 weeks, and their lameness percentage is under 2%, which is absolutely phenomenal. It's fantastic. But the owner of the farm is so desperate to aim for 0 that we're actually visiting there today so that we can teach the guys who work on the farm how to treat infectious diseases like foul in the foot and digital dermatitis as effectively and as quickly as possible. And that's because he is aiming for 0. You might not get to 0, but your aim should always be for 0 lameness. And this guy is proof that it really does work. When we arrive at the farm, it's extremely windy, but it is sunny, so we're hopeful that it'll stay dry. But something tells me there are some serious weather changes to come during this day. This is a flood wash system, and basically all the recycled and captured water floods down these lanes and makes sure they're as clean as they possibly can be, ready for the next shift. So that's us all set up here. We've got about 40 cows to do first, and then we're going to go through all of these cows that are slightly overgrown, slightly twisted, but they're not actually lame. So we're going to go through these ones first, and then there are 8 cows which do have slight problems that we're going to treat. Ready, Craig?
Ready as always.
Can we get some love for Craig on the channel? I feel like I dominate too much. I should put him on it more, shouldn't I? Give him his own episode. Who votes for that? Me. Ladies! Fill her up, Craigie boy. I keep forgetting he doesn't like that.
You make it sound like we're at a gas station.
The cows at this farm use this exit lane twice a day, almost every day, so they're really easy for us to load. It is so cold today, like freezing cold. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I just had a haircut. 0 insulation up there. The vast majority of the cows at these farms really do need just a very minor amount of work to make sure that they stay on the right path to perfect feet, which sometimes, believe it or not, can be more challenging than when the cows have really bad feet, because we as hoof trimmers need to have the confidence in our judgment not to trim off too much, and sometimes not even to touch the foot. It's going to look like this cow has a serious problem, but actually she is recovering from what was a very serious problem indeed. This cow had foul in the foot about a month and a half ago, and this is what happens afterwards. A lot of the time, a double sole will form, and that overburdening horn needs to be removed so that dirt and debris can't get trapped underneath it, and the healing process can be completed. And later on in this video, we're going to take a closer look at foul in the foot and what it looks like when it's actually underway. This is pretty much how every day for us goes. We trim one, we load one, we trim one, we load one. Sounds monotonous, but each and every hoof and cow is different and presents its own challenges, so it keeps you thinking. What a day. When we lift feet like this, the main purpose is not really to trim them, although we do make lots of minor adjustments. The main purpose is to check that no problems are beginning to develop. The only thing about this farm is that we trim outside, and Southwest Scotland isn't known for its sunshine, let's just put it that way, so we can miss a few visits. Coffee time. Look, if you're quick you'll see what it says. I know it's a bit of a running joke about how much I love coffee, but we don't just stop for the coffee, we stop to reset, refocus, so that when we get back to trimming cows, our mind is 100% on the job and we're not beginning to feel laboured. And just like that, it's back to work. This cow is about to show us just why, no matter what cow or how recently she's been trimmed, it's always worth lifting all 4 feet. So this cow actually has an existing block on it. And I'll be honest, I can't even see what was wrong with it, so that means this block has been doing its job really well. These Bovie blocks are really hard wearing, this Excel one especially, it's a different compound from the smaller block. So this must have been on a good 3 or 4 months, to be honest, for it to have worn that amount. I'm going to leave it in place though because there's a slight twist to this outside claw, so she'll be uncomfortable walking on that, even although there's no traces of the lesion left. We're not actually going to touch this foot at all. So how many of you lot watched Dr. Sandra Lee, Pimple Popper? I know I do. This cow must have been trimmed about 3 months ago, going by that block. But it just shows it pays to lift all 4 feet and make sure there's nothing untoward. Stone! You see, there would have been a crack in the white line there. That stone's got in there and it could have just kept tracking up and caused a real problem. Now, it's no issue. Remember I said that Southwest Scotland wasn't particularly well known for sunshine? Well, sunshine. Not sunshine. And right on cue, the heavens open. We wouldn't normally trim during wet weather, but we're here, we've started, so we're gonna get the job finished.
Summer's end, feel that this is your beginning. Will colors fade, but it's okay. There is good in changes. Go run away, get it out of your system.
And just like that, we have sunshine again, and we only have 6 or 7 left to do. So today's gone pretty well. Only a light shower. Craig's got another coffee on the go too, so jobs are good. So this farm's philosophy to foot trimming is exactly how it should be. If it's lame, it gets trimmed. If it's overgrown in any way whatsoever, it gets trimmed and checked. And lameness just isn't acceptable, which is why their numbers of lame cows is so low. The farm we're at today lies right on the southwest coast of Scotland in a park called the Machars of Galloway, and that means that it's really fertile land, although the weather does change very quickly. And as we finish up these last few cows, Darren is out in the field on the quad bike bringing in a few cows which we saw about a week ago and are due to get some bandages off, so we figured we'd get them in, sort the ones out with no bandages on that don't need looked at, and rip the bandages off the ones that do. This last lot of 8 or 9 cows is just in to get bandages off, or are just in to get bandages off, because we were here a few days ago and haven't managed to get them off yet. So these cows were bandaged these cows were bandaged 5 or 6 days ago, and it'd be interesting to see how well the product we put on it has actually worked, or if it's worked at all. So as you can see, this bandage isn't tight, but it still hasn't managed to come off by itself. One tiny little cut and the whole thing comes off. It smells like ass. So this cow was wrapped because she had foul in the foot, and the vet recommended using Thailand, which is an antibiotic that will go straight in there and kill all the nasty bacteria that causes foul in the foot. And if we look right inside, you'll see that it's cleared up the infection, but she's still raw and open, so she still will be pretty sore, so it's something you need to keep a close eye on. This is just a product that we use on occasion to keep it free from bacteria and to make sure that that wound in there heals up nicely. There's no point in using iodine in this case because it'll shrink it up too much. And that's her, done. So all we're doing in these cases is removing the bandage so that it doesn't cut into the cow and cause a problem, cleaning out the area and making sure that the product the vet prescribed is indeed working, and then again just applying this topical spray that should kill a few bugs. The cattle which were taking the bandages off here have had foul in the foot, and we've managed to cure it. Foul in the foot is a serious condition that affects cows, and it's usually caused when cracks appear in that delicate skin in between the toes, and a nasty thing called Fusobacterium necrophorum gets in and makes the area swell. Because 2 or 3 of the 1,000 or so cows that live on this farm have been affected by this problem, the owner wanted to ensure that his staff could effectively treat this problem at the earliest possible opportunity. So today we're taking a closer look at cows with foul in the foot and digital dermatitis. Despite the driving wind and rain, these guys are tuned in and asking all of the right questions. We've got a cow in the crush that has digital dermatitis, and we've got one ready to go that has foul in the foot. We picked them out from the 40 or 50 cows that we did earlier this day, so that we could show the guys the difference between dermatitis and foul in the foot, because obviously you need to know what you're looking at. When it comes to the dermatitis case here, they should be able to eradicate it, because this is actually the only cow out of the thousands or so here that I know has it. As hoof trimmers, we are driven by positive results for the whole herd, and helping guys like this really helps us to achieve our end goal. And that's it. And just like that, it's almost sunny again and we've finished for the day. Days like this are good. Variety is the spice of life, people. Let's get tidied up.
Oh, here you are, face to face in this trashy bar.
After a day like today, trimming around 50 cows in the cold, wet and wind Scottish environment, we are absolutely shattered, but we still have everything to wash and make sure that it's all clean, crisp and perfect for the next farm.
Really care about the music on the dance floor. I don't really mind, all the smoke is in the bathroom.
Our weeks right now are really long and tough. We're extremely busy and the weather's beginning to turn for the worse. Days are getting shorter here in Scotland, but we still love what we do for a living. Guys, this is the Hoof GP. Thank you very, very much for watching. And remember, click that subscribe button and give this video a big thumbs up if you haven't already.